When going out to gamble your money in hopes of winning big, it helps to know a few tricks about how casinos work. While at first these establishments might seem like places of absolute luck, there are actually some lesser-known facts that could help you keep your cash. And then some. To help you strike it rich, here's 10 hidden secrets that casinos don't want you to know.
Amazing!
Number 10. Casinos work to keep you in. This should make plenty of sense, as the entire point of a casino is to make money, and the longer you're there, the more money you can spend. Keeping players playing is done through a large number of ways, including often not having windows or clocks in the building, in an attempt to have attendants lose track of time and stay longer than they may have intended. Casinos don't just want you to forget what time it is, as tactics like bright flashing lights and attractive women are also often used to keep you interested in the appealing visuals, which are most commonly found in places called party pits. These places turn up the music to make you feel more excited and invested. But the truth is that these party pits are actually much more likely to have smaller payouts, making these wild areas less fun than they would lead you to believe. On top of all this, many are laid out in a confusing and maze-like way in order to make it harder for you to leave. Overall, it's important to realize that casinos are places of business looking to take your money, and so not falling for these small tricks will help you hold on to what you walked in with. Number 9. Security watches you more than you know. Just about everyone knows that casinos put fair investment into their security, as it's a place where cash is constantly moving, and it is in management's best interest to make sure there's no stealing or cheating involved. You may be surprised, however, to learn just how tight the security often is. The average casino is practically packed with cameras, monitoring the entire establishment and all those in it from the moment they enter. Because of this, if someone becomes a suspect to the security team, they can go back and track everything that person has done while inside the casino. The cameras are also a bit more advanced than you may believe, even having the ability to zoom in enough to read the individual cards you're holding while playing a hand of blackjack. Not only sketchy behavior marks you as a target either. As soon as someone starts to win big, you can definitely bet that they will start being monitored to make sure that their luck is entirely legitimate. All this surveillance can make you a bit nervous to visit a casino, but it's noteworthy that as long as you're playing the games the way they're meant to be played, security is nothing to worry about. Number 8. Some games are more favorable for the player. Obviously, luck is a huge part of gambling. In fact, it's pretty much all of it. But you might be surprised to know that you may be significantly more likely to win money depending on the games you choose to play at a casino. You may be drawn to games like Caribbean Stud and 3-card poker, as they often pay out with higher amounts. But it's crucial to know that because of this, your odds of winning are much lower. Experience also plays a big role in what games you should be playing. You may be drawn to a game like poker first, but watch out if you don't know what you're doing. Instead, find something like Baccarat because almost no previous knowledge or strategy is required, and the odds are actually a lot more in your favor than most alternative gambling methods. If you know a little bit more about how card games work, then maybe you should try blackjack, as the knowledge required is minimal and you have almost the same chance of winning as the house. Finally, the individual table or machine you play is also a huge factor. As a rule of thumb, the more flashing bright lights there are, the less good the station is for you, as payouts are often lower and the odds are probably less in your favor. Knowing the right game to play can give you an edge before you've even started playing. Number 7. Chips make you bet more. There's some pretty simple reasoning behind this. Of course, casinos want you to gamble away as much money as possible, and this is an easy way to do it. If the things being bet aren't actually paper bills, then players are more likely to put up more of it. Chips aren't the only currency used to do this though, as things like tokens and cards are often used the same effect within the walls of casinos. After all, if the things being wagered don't really feel like actual money, you're less likely to care about it, and are therefore more likely to frivolously toss it away without feeling as guilty. Like playing Monopoly. Not to mention, chips' bright and distinct color make them more visually appealing, and giving the whole system a more lighthearted and whimsical feeling. All the while, large sums of cash are being tossed about. If you want to consciously fight this urge to treat this money like less, try counting your chips to have a more concrete idea as to how much you really are spending on games during your stay at the casino. Number 6. The truth about dealers. Being a dealer at the casino can either be a good or bad thing because, for one, the dealer gets to gain experience about the table games and strategies. However, on the other hand, they can often be treated poorly and even be untrustworthy themselves. The job of the dealer is not only to move the game along with ease and efficiency, but also to make sure players get sucked into the game even more. Because of this, he or she might act very overly friendly and fake towards participating patrons. In reality, however, most of these people do feel for players and wish that they can win money. On top of this, Another motivator to keep being kind and friendly is the fact that dealers mostly make their money off of tips. Similar to waiters and waitresses, their paycheck reflects on customer service. There is a dark side of this job, and that is the temptation of all the money and chips being circulated throughout their hands. On many accounts, dealers have been caught trying to steal money from the casino, and this is an obvious no-no. Number 5. Sanitation can be a concern. Poker chips are handled by countless numbers of people through undetermined periods of time. It isn't hard for them to come into contact with plenty of germs and bacteria. All it takes is a single person to use the bathroom without washing their hands before the chips become sanitarily questionable. Not to mention all those who enter a gambling establishment with diseases already. And many people in such a tight space makes the transmission of their sickness easier. Also, it's far too common that players get too caught up in their games to make the necessary toilet break. Number 4. Casinos can come at a big cost. From the inside, a casino might seem like a very fun and carefree place, with so many people laughing and cheering, bright colors everywhere, and lively shows and music blasting at every square inch. But the truth is that when you take a step back, casinos come with a massive cost. In many states, casinos have been proven to cause more drug and alcohol abuse, mental illness, suicide, violence, and more. It makes sense, however, because for players who spiral into an unforgiving debt, all these things may result from it. Some people might blame those who get into the situations themselves, while others blame the casinos. Nonetheless, there is an obvious and apparent trend and association with all of these unfortunate circumstances around casinos. Because of this, many have argued to make these establishments illegal, but somehow they always seem to lose. Casinos just make too much money for the state government to get rid of them, so they try to calm people's nerves in other ways. For example, there is a law in New Hampshire that requires all casinos to give a cut of their revenue to charity. Regardless, there will always be many social, emotional, and physical issues that stem from the existence of casinos. Number 3. Some dealers are sloppy. People may try to learn how to count cards, or find some other obscene way to cheat the casino, but in the end there is honestly no real way to get an advantage and win big. However, thanks to the fact that sometimes dealers are very sloppy, you might end up getting a slight advantage. This tactic is called card holding, and many people have used it to their advantage. The idea is that the dealer is sloppy enough to accidentally reveal the face-down card during a round of blackjack. This doesn't do too much, but it sure does give you the advantage when thinking about strategy. Usually, the dealer has the face-down card, so if the patron knows what the card is, they might have better chances of winning. In addition to this, card holding isn't illegal, but of course it is frowned upon, so still be careful if you end up taking advantage of this because security won't be afraid to kick you out. Obviously, the blame here is on the clumsy and ditzy dealer, but there are plenty of them out there in the vast number of casinos, so it shouldn't be that hard to find one and take advantage of it. Number 2. Hidden fees are another way you'll pay out. Of course, when you visit a casino, you can expect to be putting in some money with the hope of walking out with more. However, you may be handing over more cash to the business than you might have first planned. This can happen both directly and indirectly. The first comes in hidden fees, where small surcharges are frequently added to bills to pay for such amenities as Wi-Fi, water, and other side attractions. People are often charged for use of the minibar, which charges existing for using the fridge for personal storage, and sensors that add costs if a drink is removed from the minibar, even if it's not actually consumed. On the indirect side is the many free perks of visiting a casino. While many patrons get such perks as free drinks, parking, and more, they definitely come at a certain price. In order to unlock these special offers from the casino, you need to first drop enough money on the games there to receive such offers. It's useful to note that oftentimes you don't actually need to gamble the chips that you buy for rewards, as purchasing them alone is usually enough to gain the interest of the casino workers. The incentives continue with promotional cards, which are often given out with a sign-up, where things like discounts are given to the holder, so long as they continue to spend money with casinos under the same management under a certain period, incentivizing more frequent and sustained spending. Number 1. Casino location matters. When it comes to going to a casino, they all might seem the same, but the truth is that each one varies a lot, and depending on the type of player you are, this might just help you. Local casinos and strip casinos differ on their betting limits. Usually there is a parameter in which a player can bet, having a maximum and minimum betting amount. Commonly, at local casinos, this window is far less than big strip casinos. Due to this, players who opt to play to learn more about the ins and outs of the game may choose to go to local casinos, while high rollers and risk takers may choose to go to big name ones. Adding on to this, local casinos will most likely have the less expensive shopping and dining attractions, thus making it a better place if you are looking to save the extra cash. While some people might prefer one over the other, each has its own pros and cons, so it's best to go to whichever one you are most comfortable at. Did you already know any of these casino secrets? Have any more gambling secrets people should know? Let us know down in the comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe for more of our content. Thanks for watching!